It was very distressing.
There were a lot of tears, a lot of sleepless nights.
In the space of a couple of months, Ron Renton and his wife Jane lost $750,000.
How has losing $750,000 impacted on your mental health?
It threatened it. The amount of time I've spent on this is huge.
Last year, Ron was looking for a stable investment to help fund the couple's retirement. He was intrigued by an Australian company, Global Investment Marketing, known as GIM Trading.
Well, it looked like what you would expect on a website, that it's a professional financial dealer.
Ron is a former mining executive and experienced investor. Everything seemed above board, including this investment guide, which stressed putting the money into government and corporate bonds was low risk, the safest form of investment, and particularly appealing for retirees.
I checked that they had an Australian financial services licence, which was probably the key issue, and they did.
It was impossible almost for any investor doing due diligence to find anything wrong with this company without hiring a professional.
Ron made 5 payments to GIM totalling $800,000. He was told he was purchasing bonds with Australian financial giant Macquarie and global investment bank UBS.
How did you find out something was wrong?
Adelaide Bank told me that they had heard from CBA that it was potentially a scam. They could not retrieve the money.
Commonwealth Bank had frozen GIM Trading's account and was able to recover $50,000.
Oh yes, please, until we sort this thing out.
Ron immediately called GIM and was assured he'd get back his remaining $750,000. Then the phone lines stopped working.
Yeah, it's totally dead. They don't even tell me that it's a wrong number.
This was one of the most sophisticated frauds that I have seen in this area of bond frauds.
What makes this alleged fraud different to many others is that GIM Trading had one of the best credentials available, a financial services licence or AFSL. To get one involves rigorous scrutiny from the corporate watchdog ASIC, but GIM didn't have its own licence. For 4 months, it was using one from another company called Pulse Markets.
An Australian financial services licence is a valuable asset. This gives the victim or potential victim confidence that this isn't a scam.
Sydney chef Alessandro Monti still can't believe he's lost $200,000 after a series of emails and phone calls with a GIM agent.
He explained me how safe they are as a company because they're an ASIC, they have a BN here, they have a bank account in the CBA. So I felt quite confident.
GIM bragged it had more than 140 employees with $52 billion in assets under management. He decided to buy Canadian government bonds.
And actually, they are the most secure investment that you can do because it is covered by the government, but not in this case, obviously.
Bonds are known as a very safe investment, so that appeals to the scammers because it gives them a level of credibility.
Alessandro's life savings have been wiped out. He's not alone. The National Anti-Scam Centre has received 38 reports about losses of almost $8 million to GIM Trading.
Before I was secure that I'm going to settle and buy a house, but now I don't have any more, and so I need to replan my life.
730 contacted the Canadian government, as well as several international banks and companies who appeared in GIM Trading's investment guide. They confirmed none of them have a relationship. Newcastle Coal, JP Morgan and Macquarie have published scam warnings on their websites. The public face of the company was Gold Coast-based CEO and director Stephen Cubis, pictured in the investment guide and this glowing press release. It shows Cubis rubbing shoulders with a senior figure at NAB Bank at an investor day hosted by the Australian Stock Exchange.
Stephen Cubis is actually a musician. He plays the piano. He has no experience in financial services whatsoever.
Cybercrime investigator Ken Gamble has been hired by 7 customers to dig into Stephen Cubis's background and others associated with GIM.
We are investigating who was behind this fraud, who benefited, who are the ultimate beneficiaries. We are investigating some of the parties overseas that we have discovered have had an involvement in this fraud.
I'm on my way to try and speak with Stephen Cubis at his Brisbane apartment because he hasn't responded to my extensive attempts to contact him.
I'm just wanting to speak with Stephen Cubis about his company GIM Trading. This is the first time Stephen Cubis has responded publicly to the allegations GIM Trading operated a fraudulent scheme.
Mr. Cubis?
Yes, Michael Atkin from the ABC.
Michael.
Hi. I'm just seeking to speak to you about your company GIM Trading.
Yeah.
There's some serious allegations involving your company. Were the bonds ever purchased, or was this just completely fraudulent?
I absolutely have no idea.
Do you suspect it's fraudulent?
I do. So I actually suspected all of maybe about 3 months in.
You were the public face of the company.
I was, yeah. But as you can understand, like, it'd be suicide for me to, like, conduct what that company did.
The 40-year-old says he thought GIM Trading was legitimate when he was made company director. Despite having no financial experience, the musician says he was given the role after a Gold Coast man made him an extraordinary offer.
I know him from Broadbeach, just hanging out at the bars downstairs. I was given a retainer and a commission on each.
How much were you paid?
$500 a week was the retainer and 1% of each of the transfers.
He says he was given instructions via the encrypted messaging app Signal. Why were you involved in a business where you didn't know who these people were and you were dealing with people over Signal?
Yeah, I know. That's where I started to shut it down.
But why would they pick you? Why wouldn't they pick somebody who has a background in finance?
I explained it in my email.
Well, explain it to me now.
I've actually got all the conversations recorded with the guys that were handling the company.
GIM Trading's customers allege they're missing millions of dollars.
Yeah, totally. I feel horrible simply because I I understand it's not fair, but I mean, I had nothing to do with these customers.
Stephen Cubis is also facing 9 criminal charges on unrelated matters, including driving offences. His court file shows he was arrested in Brisbane last month for failing to appear, and he's due back here in court in a couple of weeks.
Michael, I'll send you the information. I've got to go. But I will get this to you, okay?
I look forward to seeing it.
I will. I'll send it to you today.
Stephen Cubis is yet to provide that information. 730 has been unable to verify his version of events. Last October, another man took over GIM Trading, 57-year-old Darren Geddes. He's listed on company records at this Gold Coast address, but 730's attempts to contact him were unsuccessful.
Yeah, you've got Darren Geddes here. Unfortunately, I can't take your call right now.
Pulse Markets is based out of this Brisbane office block. It held the most recent financial services licence used by GIM Trading and did not respond to 730's questions. Neil Jeans is an expert in fraud and money laundering investigations. He believes ASIC should have a greater oversight of the financial service licence system known as AFSLs and scrutinise the conduct of the companies renting them.
The use and abuse of AFSLs, which is a system designed to protect investors, is clearly being abused by criminals in order to basically steal money from people.
I regarded myself as a reasonably sophisticated investor, and if I can get taken to the cleaners by these people, then what chance has somebody who does not have that experience, what chance do they have?